Okay, so one of the biggest problems for people or small businesses now that I see is they have an idea of what they want to do, but they never get there. They never get to that end result. And the reason for that is because they don't have the necessary skill set to get there by themselves. And if they employ someone with those skill sets, that individual is just a bit mediocre. I'm not saying everyone is like that, but the majority are. So in this video, I'm going to talk about an alternative way to get where you want to go by working with a joint venture partner. And more importantly, how to find the perfect joint venture partner for you and for your business. And the reason we share these videos is because we're passionate about helping smaller businesses compete against the corporate takeover of most industries. Customer convenience and access to capital means small businesses will mostly die out before the end of the decade if they don't adapt and start thinking about new ways to run the business. We work in partnership with established 7- and 8-figure businesses to create new product offerings and business models, and then we position and package them up to compete against their corporate rivals. We create and invest in alternative ways of doing things to create industry-leading brands. But now let's get back to the video. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because for the last 5 years or so, lots of people have been contacting me asking if I'll be partners with them and help them to get where they want to go. The problem is the skills that they need, they aren't the things that I'm strongest at. And this comes down to either not knowing what skills they actually need, or they haven't really looked at what my strengths are based on my past experience, and that they just want me to be involved with the project regardless. Now, the problem with that, if I got involved with those businesses, they still probably wouldn't get where they want to go because they'd want me to provide the skill sets doing things I'm not even very good at. So it'd just be a waste of both our times. So apart from the reasons I've just said, why would you even want a JV partner? Well, if you've got a business, then it might be stuck at a certain level. And what I've noticed is businesses have the same type of people in them. When a business isn't growing, or if it's got problems, normally it's because it's missing one of those pieces. To give you an example, if your business has financial problems, it's normally because you're missing a strong financial person in the business. Likewise, if you've got staff issues, it's because you've not got a strong or experienced people manager in the business. So by working with a JV partner, it provides you with a strong piece for that area of the business. You might have heard of about a profiling system called human design. I've been learning about this system since 2018, but within this system, there are 4 types of profile. It goes much deeper than that, but at its most basic level, there are 4 types of profile, or actually 4 main types of people. And each type has a way of operating in life that best suits them. So the 4 types are generators, which make up about 70% of the population, then projectors that make up 20%, manifestors that are about 8%, and then reflectors make up the rest. Now, if you had each of these types in your business, it would take off massively because they each bring a certain type of energy or natural skill set. But if you have a business where it only has one type, then nothing ever really happens. And what I found is most small businesses are full of the generator type. So they tend to go around in circles, never getting anywhere. It's the generator's role to work, so that's what they do. The projector's role is to guide. So a projector is good at seeing the future and creating strategies for the generator types to use. It's like the projector provides a map for the generator to use. So if you put these 2 together, the business takes off because you've got the worker type who now has a roadmap to get where they want to go. They're working with a purpose rather than running on a treadmill that they don't even realize is a treadmill. Now, I'm a projector type. That's why I created this video. So I could provide you with that roadmap to get started on that journey. But if you're interested in learning more about human design system, if you go to my playlist on YouTube or the other video platforms, I've created a playlist of various videos that I've found to be useful. So you can go and watch those if you're interested. Now, you don't need to know about the human design system to find the perfect joint venture partner. I'm just showing you that system because it represents the different types of people, or in other words, what each type of person is naturally good at and how each type needs the other to get where they want to go. So by working with a JV partner, it provides you with that strong piece for those other areas of the business. And it might not just be an individual we're talking about as a JV partner. It might be an entire business that fills that missing piece. So let's talk about the process. What is the end result? The first step is to know where you want to end up. Let's say you're a hotel operator and you've got a 40-bedroom hotel in the Lake District. Well, you might decide the end result is you'd like to have 5 other similar hotels spread across the country. So that's the end result. Next, we need to think about what pieces we'll need for you to get to that end result. What pieces do you already have, and which pieces are missing? So if you're that hotel operator, then maybe you'll need a strong finance person to help you buy those other locations or to raise that money. So what pieces are missing for you? These are the pieces you need to fill by working with a joint venture partner. Now, the normal way people think about getting those pieces, they either employ someone directly or they'll work with someone externally as a contractor or a consultant. But the problem with those 2 routes, neither of them are aligned with your end result. If you employ someone in-house, first, it's going to be expensive to employ them, especially if they really are the best people for that job. And all that cost is front-loaded. So you might pay them, and at the end of the 3 years, you're still not moved any closer to that end result. The other issue is when 5 o'clock comes, they're off home with no buy-in to your end result. Now, if you work with an external consultant or a contractor, again, they aren't aligned with your end result. They're incentivized to earn as much money as possible. So that could mean spending twice as much money to get to the same end result. And that's just because that's how they pay their bills. Now, with a JV partner, you're both aligned with the same end result. Neither of you should benefit until you reach that end result. So you're both motivated to make it happen in the fastest and cheapest way possible. So the first thing to do, think about what are your own personal strengths. If it's a business like the hotel operator in the example, what are the personal strengths of each people running that business? Now, when I talk about strengths, I'm talking about your natural abilities. So if all your money and everything else was taken away, what would you be left with? Those are your natural strengths. From my own experience, there are probably things that you do naturally, but you don't even think about it because you think everyone else does that. And for some people, it can be talking to people and building relationships. For others, it can be organizing and systemizing how you do things to make it more efficient. And normally, if you ask other people, they'll tell you what they see as you're naturally good at, because they notice it, whereas you probably don't notice it. For me, my natural strengths are seeing the future and creating new product offerings or business models or strategies to align with that future. And I didn't realize that until a few years ago. If you don't know what your strengths are, a good place to start is to look at the Genius U platform, which gives a free 30-second test. And then it will give you a report that when you get into it, that will help you recognize what your natural strengths are. It's free, and it's probably the best 2 minutes you'll ever spend. Next, if you're a business, we need to identify what strengths that business has. I've done a video on the 4 types of company, which I'd recommend you watch after this one, because there are 4 types of company, and knowing which type your business is, it gives you the optimum strategy that you should use to get where you want to go. You have to know what assets your business has and what resources it has. So for that hotel operator, one of its strengths might be it has a well-known brand for a particular type of customer. It might be operating a very nice character property, and it might have a large database of past customers. So all of these things are strengths that you can use to identify which pieces you need most. So now you've identified what you have, you know which pieces are needed to get where you want to go. So now it's a simple case of seeing which pieces are missing. And when you've done that, you can start to identify who has those pieces that you need. And then the final question is, where do you find these people or businesses? And for that, there's probably lots of answers, but the best three that I can think of, and the ones I use myself, are LinkedIn. It's easy to identify the skill sets or the businesses on there. Second, you've got different communities or membership groups or platforms. If you join those groups where your target pieces might be, then you'll see the people that share the same end result. If we go back to that Genius U platform, they have a membership community of over 4 million business owners. So, and they're all over the world. And you get free access to join that platform when you take that profile test. And then thirdly, perhaps you know someone that works for or supplies to the type of people or businesses that you need, your target pieces. So you might get an introduction to them through that way. So that's it for this video. Please check out my other videos on the 4 types of company. And if you like this video, please share it with other people, because the more people that see it, then the more people you'll have to partner with.